I actually have to run, but
okay, well, we'll talk about something else.
no,
It's okay.
I actually have to run to do my
Maybe
own
I
interview.
can. Let's talk about something that's not political, okay? Because obviously you're not comfortable discussing those broader issues. I'm very curious about something, which is the Me Too movement. Can you explain that to my viewers? So, because we're kind of perplexed. Exactly what the Me Too movement is about.
I think it's just women coming forward with their own stories using the hashtag #MeToo and showing other women that have been sexually harassed that they're not alone, and that there are a lot of women, unfortunately, with horrible stories of sexual harassment that they've dealt with for decades. And I think that this movement is just bringing to light things that people have swept under the rug for a really long time, and making other sexual harassment victims know that they're not alone, and that it's a widespread problem that as a country we really need to address in the entertainment industry, in politics, in everyday workplaces. It's everywhere. It's not just one place.
So would the women in the Me Too movement prefer that no man made any advances to them? Is that what their preference?
I think women all over the country would prefer that no men make any advances, yeah.
So if the men didn't make any advances, how would the men and the women get together?
I don't know if I want to get into all that, but I think there's respectful ways to express interest, and there are disrespectful ways to do so, and I think it's just use your common sense. And
well, I agree with that wholeheartedly, but usually the men make the advances if a woman, say, a beautiful woman like yourself, no man ever paid any attention to her and never made any advances, would she be happy?
I think, again, there are respectful, if women are clearly shutting you down and not expressing interest, don't go touch them inappropriately.
Oh, touch is a whole different thing. That is an assault, and that's illegal to touch a woman.
Yeah.
And touch a man. You can't hit a man or threaten a man or a woman. That I agree wholeheartedly, and I think your point is well taken. There are smart ways, and there's courteous ways, and there's the way that a gentleman can. But it's clear that it's okay for him to make an advance. Now the lady can say, "I'm not interested." And that's perfectly fine as well. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things that I'm curious about is, do you think that men and women are fundamentally different in many areas?
Probably, yes.
So the most obvious one is that the women have babies, right? And that makes a big difference in life.
Yes.
So the women have to be very careful with the partner they select, because it's a long-term commitment. It's a big commitment. And so they have to be careful who they select, whereas the men can be casual and they don't really suffer any major consequence or responsibility. If the lady gets pregnant, if they're a decent guy, they'll be there for her, but they're not necessarily going to have to deal with the situation, right?
Sorry, I kind of tuned out because I have to go. So I have another interview. I have to conduct an interview. But
okay, well,
yes.
It was very interesting talking to you, and we appreciate the feminine insight that you have so generously provided.
Well, good. Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Bye.